Hello and welcome everyone. I've got a build for you in this video, which I'm going to recommend to use for Retaliation. This is my go-to build if I'm playing Heroic Solo Retaliations. It's very good for that. And I can even use it in a group as well. But if I am playing group play, because I've got the backup of my team, I tend to go for more damage and I go all red builds and they're more fun. But for Solo Retaliation, Heroic difficulty, this build is perfect. Before we do get into it, I do just want to say for those watching that follow the channel, they've seen my videos before, you've probably seen this build. It is my blue striker build I've shared a couple of times. I'm re-releasing it again today because we can title it under Retaliation. It's how YouTube works. People are going to be searching for Retaliation builds, and there's a chance to show this build off to new people. So if you've seen this video before or this build before, skip ahead. I do talk about my favorite modifiers for this season to put on it. Otherwise, you don't need to see it again. For new people that haven't seen this build and know what I'm talking about, then this video is for you. A lot of you were asking in stream what I was using the other day as well when we were playing pretty much 24 hours of Retaliation. So let's get into the build. This is what it looks like. It is my blue striker build. I've used this ever since the seasonal modifiers were introduced. The idea of this build was that I could basically remove damage because the modifiers give me damage. So I could go really a lot into survivability and then pick up extra damage from modifiers. That was the thought process around putting it together. The reason why I thought about a blue striker build because I was running with my friend Mackie on legendaries and he went a 6 blue core striker build and was absolutely annihilating. I was like, no way, blue striker's good. And that's before the modifiers became a thing. So yeah, that's kind of like the backstory of making this build, and it's really good. Even without modifiers, it's great for solo play. And you can see all the blue cores on there. We've got 5 blue cores in total. We've got a memento backpack with the skill tier on that. It gives the Crusader shield 6 skill tiers as well, so you've got a 6 skill tier Crusader shield, and that's where all your survivability comes from. The memento backpack, all those blue cores, and the Crusader shield, and then the striker and crit damage on the build is what gives you your DPS as well as a memento as well. So starting with the gunner specialization, the reason I use this is because of the rate of fire, but also the 10% armor on kill that you're going to get with it. So when you get a kill, you get 10% armor. You could probably switch this out for something else if you wanted to. This is just the way I run the build. There's lots of different things you could do with the build to make it your own, but I go with the minigun. Then the AR that I use an assault rifle on the build, and I use the St. Elmo's engine. Love this AR. It's got a high mag size, the shock rounds. It's real good, but you can go with whatever you want. Again, you don't have to go to St. Elmo's. It can be any other assault rifle. You could even get away with an SMG on this build, potentially. It's kind of personal preference, but the St. Elmo's works very, very well. The secondary weapon and the sidearm don't really matter on the build, so go with what you want. But then the gear pieces, we'll start with the mask. I've got a striker mask on the build. It's got a blue armor core on the mask with a critical hit damage mod and a critical hit damage attribute roll, so double crit damage there with blue armor. The holster is another striker piece. On the holster, we do have a red weapon damage core attribute with critical hit damage as the secondary attribute. The striker gloves for the third striker piece is armor again, so blue armor core, critical hit damage as the attribute roll. And then the knee pads are again a blue armor core roll with a critical hit damage attribute roll. They're the 4 pieces of striker. The backpack, as I've already mentioned, is the exotic memento backpack. It comes with your weapon damage armor and a skill tier. It's got a critical hit damage mod on that. I'm sure you're all aware of how the memento works. Very briefly, just kill things, pick up trophies, get buffs. It buffs your weapon damage, it buffs your bonus armor, it buffs your skill efficiency. It has long-term and short-term buffs. It's amazing. It's great for solo. A lot of people always ask, why would you run this in a group? Well, as long as you're still getting kills, it's okay. If you're running in a group and you're not getting kills, then maybe the memento ain't the right piece for the build. But as long as you're getting kills, it's fine. When I run in a group, I still get plenty of kills, and it's worthwhile for me. And finally, the final piece is the Palisade chest piece. Now, this brand set bonus of having one of these on the build gives me 10% armor on kill. That doubles up with the one from the gunner, so I'm getting 20% armor on kill every time I get a kill. This has blue armor as a core attribute. It's got crit chance, crit damage as the other attributes, and a critical hit damage mod on it. And the talent to go with is obliterate, so I'm getting extra damage through my crit hits. This again can be tailored to your liking. I do think you need Obliterate for the extra damage, if I'm being honest with you. Like, there's loads of blue cores on the build. You're using your striker stacks to get damage up. You're using your memento trophies to get damage up. And you're also using Obliterate to get damage up. You do get quite a lot of damage, though, depending on the season, depending on the modifiers. You could potentially take this out for, like, Unbreakable to add more survivability. Play around with it. I have actually done that on one of the solo master missions that I did. I did take Obliterate out and I've thrown on Unbreakable to make it easier. So it's ideal to get a chess piece where you got crit hit chance, crit hit damage already rolled onto it, so you can recalibrate the talent and play around with that depending on the season, depending on the modifiers, depending what you're doing. It's a good option to have. The skills on the build, I always go, obviously, Crusader Shield. The reason for this is because we've got 6 skill tiers on it. The Crusader Shield will pick up the blue armor cores as skill tiers. Also, the skill tier of the Memento backpack, giving me a 6 skill tier Crusader Shield. Very good. Allows me to get very tanky with the enemies, pull this out, get some good kills, and it works great on the build. And the second skill is a Revive Hive, because even with all the survivability, I'm still going to go down. And when I do go down, the Revive Hive is going to get me back up. I love my playstyle is kind of played around the Revive Hive as well. When I have the Revive Hive active, I'll be a lot more aggressive. And then when I lose my Revive Hive, I'll still be aggressive, but I'll know where my exits are. I'll know where I can get safe if needed so I don't get down. So I like a Revive Hive so I can play that playstyle and get a little bit more riskier at times. Now, you might look at the stats on this build and think they're not the greatest, because the critical hit chance is only 31%, and I got critical hit damage at 152.4% on the build. This, you can amend this. Now, you've seen with all my mods, I crit hit damage mods on. If 31% crit hit chance is too low for you, by all means, just remove some crit hit damage mods, place in some crit hit chance mods, you can get that close to 50%. But what I would say is that if you're running with squads a lot and they're wearing coyote masks, you're going to get buffs to your crits anyway. And 31%, it still works okay for me. Like, I do like to get to 40 at a minimum, I won't lie. But at 31%, it's when I'm playing, it's fine. I'm killing things very, very quickly, like you see in the gameplay. Ideally, you would like to have a minimum of 40. Ideally, you'd want 60. You're not going to get 60% crit chance on this build without crit damage, though. Play around with the mods to alter where your crit hit chance is. If I threw 3 crit chance mods on this, then all of a sudden, like I said, I'm close to 50% crit chance, but that would be at a cost of crit damage. As for the modifiers this season, so many are good. You can use whatever active modifier that you want to use, really. It doesn't really affect the build. Like, I love Zealot. When I use Zealot, I'm basically invincible for 10 seconds, and then if I can keep on getting kills, I'm going to extend that invincibility. I like it a lot. I also like Say Cheese, where I can blind people. I also like the one that you set ones on fire. Whatever modifier you like, go with it. And then for the passive modifiers, what I'm using in the gameplay that you can see, I was doing a hyena retaliation. So hyenas have shields. So I threw on unfriendly fire. So shooting a hyena's shield deflects your bullets, dealing 50% of the damage to enemies within 10 meters of the target. That worked well for that. If I wasn't up against hyenas, I could swap this out for something else, though. I like the one where you can soak up grenades every so many seconds if they land at your feet. There's other ones there as well where if you're facing other factions, that work quite well as well. The passive modifiers that kind of stay in, though, on this build for now is the stepping stone one. Eliminating assaults with headshots add hollow point ammo to my magazine. Hollow point ammo increases your damage, so that's really good. And then Rupert's Tear. I love this one. When you break any piece of a tank's armor, all of our armor pieces are broken. When this happens, you apply bleeding to enemies within 15 meters of the target. And that is the build. If you've watched me do retaliations on stream and you've been wondering what build I am wearing, it is this one. Solo Heroic works very, very well. The only downside to the build is that it's got so many blue cores on it, it does need charging up. So just bear that in mind. Like, if I am doing a retaliation and it's on Heroic, I might not just run straight into a control point without already engaging with some enemies first. What I mean by that, if you just see some odd spawns of enemies, go and engage with them. Just start charging up your striker stacks and start picking up those memento trophies, because that's all going to start buffing your damage. Then once you've buffed it up a little bit, it works like a treat. If you are just going to run straight into a control point and straight into ads, make sure that you're just cautious before you get too tanky, because until you start charging the build up, the damage is lacking. But once charged, it is very, very good. It's good. It's a good fun build. As I said at the start of the video, I've shared this quite a lot. I use this a lot in streams, and people always ask me what build I'm using, and I share it with you. And a lot of you have put it together and gave me some great feedback on it as well. For Retaliation, this is definitely more solo. I wasn't using this build much when I was playing with a group, because when you're playing with a group, it does work, don't get me wrong, but when you're playing with a group, you can go much more adventurous with the damage. I was using my all red striker glass cannon build when I was playing in a group, and that worked great. I was having a ton of fun with that. Solo though, that build I'm probably going to die a lot and not complete Retaliation. So solo, this is what I go with. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let us know what you're using. Comment down below the builds you're using for Retaliation and solo Heroic Retaliations. Sure, people are going to be interested. I'm certainly interested. Have a read through the comments. And yeah, if you got any questions whatsoever, post them down below as well. I've got a full-on Retaliation guide for those that are wondering what is Retaliation still. If you want to check that out, it's linked at the top of the video description. I talk through the whole new feature, exactly how it works, and all the unlocks with the exotic blueprints and things like that. But thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Until next time, take care.